Imagine this scenario. You had an argument with one of your friends. They claim that you need to sleep more. On the other hand, you have to study for the last exam before graduation, and for this reason, you now sleep only 5 hours every night and maintain that this is not harmful. The morning after the argument, after only 5 hours of sleep, stunned in front of a coffee, you look for articles on the subject and every single one of them agrees with your friend. Now you have two paths in front of you. One is to ignore the new information and continue to sleep very little, finding new reason to confirm your choice. And the other is to welcome the new data and start sleeping more. The first is the soldier's path, while the second is the scout's path. Hello everyone and welcome! I'm Luca and this is School of Thinking, a channel to help you think better. One of the most important factors that lead us to make mistakes is our tendency to seek confirmation for what we already believe in and to reject what we think is wrong. We face life as if we were in a trench, armed to the teeth, ready to defend our position from any attacks. This phenomenon, known among academics as motivated reasoning, has been redefined by Galef as soldier mindset. In this context, a soldier of ideas wants their positions to be right at all costs, so they search for information that confirms this. When we behave as soldiers, we fail to see that this is an irrational approach, and we think we have evaluated the data carefully and thoroughly. However, this is not the case. The soldier's mindset is compared to the scout's mindset. While the soldier fights to defend a position, the scout tries to build an accurate map of the territory. What's behind that hill? Is there a bridge, or do my eyes deceive me? What information do I need to collect to improve my map? Therefore, the scout looks for every useful information and asks themselves, is it true? Hence, we have the soldier's mindset and the scout's mindset. We are all a bit soldiers and a bit scouts. For example, the philosopher who rigorously analyzes hypotheses and behaves like a scout, but that perhaps, at home, finds every reason to ignore the advice of their dietitian to avoid changing their lifestyle, behaving like a soldier. What is behind the tendency to think like soldiers? There are 6 different reasons behind the fact that we often use a soldier's mindset. Some of these reasons have psychological and personal basis. The first reason is comfort. We try to avoid unpleasant emotions, and to do so, we are willing to give up accuracy. This is the old story of the fox and the grapes. If we are rejected from a job, in order to not feel bad or admitting that we have made a mistake, we could tell ourselves that it was just a boring job anyway, and it was not very well paid. The second reason is morale. We need to motivate ourselves to do things that are heavy, difficult, and that go against all odds. To do so, we make 2 mistakes. We lie to ourselves and, for example, we could tell ourselves that it is enough to work harder than others to be successful, and then we select only the data that justify our optimistic view, ignoring what could lead us to pessimism. The third reason is self-esteem. In order to preserve our self-esteem, we ignore all the information that could crack it. If we don't have many friends, we are not inclined to say, maybe I should work on my communication skills, as doing so will undermine our self-esteem. But instead, we would rather say, people are not smart enough to understand me. 3 other categories are based on social reasons. The fourth reason is persuasion. Every day we try to persuade others of something. We attempt to convince our bosses that we deserve a promotion, or our investors that our company will make millions. To do this, we often have to persuade ourselves first. This leads to the risk that in order to convince others, we end up believing in something which is not true. The fifth reason is belonging. Perhaps we don't like to admit it, but we are still moved by primordial needs. For example, we want to feel part of a group and to have protection of our fellow human beings. Losing this connection could mean being alone and helpless, and we want to avoid this at all costs. The 6th and last reason is the image. When we have to decide what to wear or what photos to put on Instagram, we are wondering, what impression will the world have of me if I make this choice? With beliefs, it works in a similar way. Every time we have to choose what to believe in, we ask ourselves, what kind of person believes in such a thing? If I believe it, would I give others the image I want to give of myself? The soldier's mindset, in short, wants to protect us from what it believes are the very high cost of seeking the truth. And it does so by fooling us with lies and illusions, giving up on forming accurate beliefs in favor of believing whatever makes us feel good. There are 4 reasons why, in reality, the cost of seeking the truth is much lower than we think. We overestimate the immediate rewards of the soldier's mindset. Therefore, we struggle to act in a way that allows us to obtain long-term benefits. For example, when joining a gym with an annual membership, we know that being consistent in our training will lead us to numerous benefits. Thus, we are able to understand the value of this decision. However, when we have to train on a rainy and cold November evening, our soldier's mindset will find 1,000 reasons to stay home in our cozy bed. We underestimate the long-term positive effects of adopting Scout's habits. Choosing to ignore the soldier's voice that pushes us to stay at home allows us to listen the voice of the Scout. The more we strive to listen to this voice, the more we get used to a more accurate way of reasoning. This accuracy allows us, over time, to make better decisions, reduce our mistakes, and to significantly improve our lives. We underestimate the cost of lying to ourselves in the face of the truth. The cost of a small white lie that makes us feel better does not seem so high. We tell ourselves, "Come on, I'm generally a very disciplined person. If I skip training today, there's nothing wrong with that." However, we cannot know how high the cost of these lies will be, but it is certain that there will be a cost, and we will not get benefits. When we reason like soldiers, we tend to ignore these factors, and the benefits calculation will always end up being skewed toward the most convenient choice. Therefore, the Scout's habit is to look at the cost of each lie from a newer, broader and more thorough perspective. We overestimate social costs. Research has shown that patients tend to hide essential information from doctors. This is because we are afraid of judgment of authority figures, when in reality their opinion of us has no value at all. It is much more rational to be totally honest with the doctor, disregarding their opinion of us and trying to solve our problem. This example shows the excess of importance that we give to the social costs that we can incur in if we choose to be rational. At this point, it should be quite clear that following the path of the soldier, while it satisfies some of our psychological needs in the short term, is not the best choice in the long run. However, let's face it, we all have times when we think more like soldiers. Leave us a comment to share your experience of giving into your inner soldiers. For example, that time when you munch on an entire pack of snacks. Let us know! See you in the next video.